On this episode of the Layover Live, we talk the graduation of the new Google Search Console and what this means for DMOs everywhere.
Yeah. I'm ready?
Yeah.
No?
No.
No?
No. No.
No.
No. No. No. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 43 of the Layover Live. We bring you the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, joined now by Erin McNamara, Senior SEO Analyst. So Erin, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Right, we're talking graduation. I mean, we're going to go that formal on it, right? But it's still pretty big news coming out of Google. They're taking Search Console, the new one, out of beta. Our feature article this week comes from Google's blog, so we want you to check that out. It's really, really important because this is a tool that is often used by SEOs, even some webmasters, to really get a diagnostic look at the website. So maybe talk about what are some of the new things that this new Search Console is giving you.
Okay, so right off the bat, we get to see 16 months worth of data.
Awesome.
Whereas back in the day with Search Console, you might be able to see 3 months back.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a whole lot. Yeah.
No, it doesn't allow you to, it didn't used to allow you to compare year over year.
Right.
So now we get 16 months worth of data, so you can actually log in and see the queries that sent search volume to your site. Mm-hmm. You can see actually how many impressions you got for that query, up to 1,000 keywords. Wow. So being able to pull that more than a year back is awesome. So you can see where you've made improvements, you can see where you need to improve. Mm-hmm. A lot of times in our department, we'll look at those keywords that are way down there getting a lot of impressions, but not a lot of click-throughs. Mm-hmm. So we're able to go, what's going on with this? Why aren't people clicking on your site? So we take a peek, who's outranking you, what are they doing? Do you need to change the page to a numbered list? Those sorts of things. So that's really cool, the 16-month thing. There's a few other features in there, like the URL inspection tool, manual actions. The index coverage report is really awesome, so that's where we spend a lot of our time.
Yep, a lot of time.
That's where you can actually see the errors that are reporting back. Mm-hmm. Now, some of our clients have been emailing about getting a lot of emails now from Search Console.
Yes.
And that's only because now they email you every single time they report something back, which is great. Because
it's more of a proactive approach, right?
Exactly.
Hey, make sure you're on top of this. Mm-hmm. and we should be on top of these things, or have somebody who's watching those things for you.
Absolutely.
Anyways, right?
Absolutely, and that's what we were doing anyway. Yeah. Now that clients are seeing those, they're kind of more interested in it. Now, one thing I do want to mention, though, is that the new Google Search Console does not have all of the features that the old one had. Okay. It has new improved features, but things like being able to link a Google Analytics account and a Google Search Console account, you still have to go into the old version for that. Another thing is disavowing toxic backlinks. You still have to go into the old version for that. So as they make those tools accessible in the new one, they'll slowly phase out the old one.
Yeah, and start migrating all that stuff over, right? Now, one thing that you mentioned was the URL inspection tool, right? Which is one of the key benefits, I think, of this new launch. So maybe explain that a little bit and how that affects DMOs out there.
So in Google Search Console, you'll see in the left-hand column URL inspection. So click on that and you'll type in a URL at the top. You'll be able to find out, is the URL on Google? Has it been indexed and submitted to their search engine index? And is the page mobile friendly? Now that's really cool because you can see, hey, this is a new URL. Has Google found it yet? Are there any
which we
issues
get that question all the time. It's like, hey, we've got this new page submitted. We sent this in. Like, where is it at? How come we're not seeing it? Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, if you see all green check marks in that report, you're fine. Okay. Now, if you see any red marks in there, you go back, you make the changes. Now, the really cool thing is you don't have to sit around and wait for it to be indexed again to see if your changes made any impact. You can actually have Google in live time, go out, look at that page, and then come back and tell you, did you fix those issues that they found?
Yeah. Incredibly helpful. That's been a really, really cool feature. Another cool feature that you mentioned also was the manual actions report. I think that's definitely worth mentioning here as well. So what does that do and how is that beneficial? So
manual actions, we're hoping that when you go to this portion of Google Search Console in the left-hand column, manual actions, you see a big green check mark, no issues. At Google, you know, they use electronic spiders all the time. Sometimes people actually sitting behind their computer finding issues with your site. So this was more common about 10 years ago, but people using white text on a white background to get keywords on a page, to keyword stuff, you may see that coming back as a manual action. Google saying, fix this or we're going to drop your rankings. Another example of our clients that we've seen is partner listings. When a partner site gets flagged for malware and they're linking to that partner site. So Google will say, hey, you are linking to a malicious site. This is no good. So you can go in, you can see what the issue is, you can correct it, and then you can tell Google you corrected it right there in Search Console. So then they go, okay, you corrected it, awesome, we're going to remove this manual action against you. Usually our clients don't have major issues with that, but we've seen
it does pop up, yeah. It does pop up from time to time. So again, those are two really good examples, Erin, of some of the new features that are coming out that I think are really beneficial to DMOs. Again, just as important as Google Analytics is on measuring what's happening on the website, using some of these tools, the Search Console, to get a diagnostic check of a website is just or even more as important, because it's the way Google sees you under the hood, right? So really good there. So thanks for sharing that. Thank you for tuning in each and every week. We'll see you next time. Have a great week.